So I thought I'd do this video because this is something that's been kind of bugging me for a while, and I want to see what other people's opinions are on this. So as we know, in the last few years, we've had quite a few retro consoles come out, and I'm going to call them consoles because even the ones that are like micros, they're not really micros, are they? They are consoles. They just play games, right? They are effectively really just a Raspberry Pi in a case, aren't they? That's all they are. But the thing is, I think at first I was one of these people, like a lot of people, that was fooled into buying these things, right? Because the way you looked at it was, well, this can save me killing my original microcomputer, my original console. It also has a digital signal, which means I can play it on any TV. I don't have to have a CRT or a particular TV with the right hookups to play it. It means that it will play on all modern stuff. Also means if I want to capture it for YouTube, it's easier to do because it's an HDMI out, etc, etc, etc. However, what I found is that if you've got a PC, you don't need these things. Like, you really don't. Like, if you really just wanted it to run on a modern screen, you could do that on a PC. If you wanted to capture it, you could just screen record it, because you can get emulators to play these on, right? You see where I'm going with this, right? So, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because there's been a recent release. Now, this one's a little bit different because this one does play physical media. So I do think this one has a place. And that's the new N64 that's coming out. It's I think it's done by Analogue, if I remember right, which is the same people that did the Analogue Pocket, aren't they? And I think it's $250, which I think is a little bit overpriced, if I'm honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, it could only look better than the original N64, because let's be honest, it hasn't aged very well, has it? It doesn't look great on a modern screen. However, that probably does. It's got an HDMI out. But does it, though? Is it going to be a case of like, rolling a piece of crap in glitter and hoping it looks better afterwards, is it going to look better? I don't know. I mean, obviously the Americans are going mad over it, but that's because the N64, I would argue, is more popular there than it was here. Don't get me wrong, people had them here, but I don't think it was as popular as it is there. Like, when you watch a lot of YouTubers, especially American YouTubers, they go mad for Nintendo 64, whereas I don't think we do over here, because I don't really see many people really going on about it in the UK. But anyway, back to my original point. I think that has a place because, let's be honest, it could really, I suppose, only make the N64 better than it was originally. Because it's still got your 4 controllers, it still takes cartridges. It just has literally an HDMI out, so it improves the picture, don't it? So I suppose it could only make it look better. So it has a place. Yeah, so, I mean, going back to what I was saying about the Spectrum, for example, at the end of the day, it is just like, you are just putting ROMs on there, you're not using that to use original software. And it goes back to what I was saying before, like, you could put ROMs just on your PC and just emulate on that. I mean, admittedly, with the Spectrum, or say the C64 when it came out, I suppose it does have the plug and play value. There is a point to it. It does make life a little bit easier. But it's really not that hard to just run emulators and ROMs off your PC. In fact, it's probably easier because you can jump between the different systems very easily, because a lot of emulators will run all these different systems, and it's literally a case of coming out of one menu and into another. I would argue it's actually easier. So this is why, like, I'm sort of torn. Is there a point to these things? Now, for example, when the Amiga Maxi comes out, would I buy one of them? Yes, possibly I would. And I'll tell you why, because I've got an A500. And if I can preserve that and make that last longer, I would absolutely jump at the chance of getting a digital version of that, yeah? But then that goes back to what I was saying before. Could I just not play them on my PC? And my argument with that would be, well, yeah, but it's because I would prefer to have something that resembles an A500. I've got a 500 Mini, which I do use, not that much, but I do use it. If it was a Maxi, I would use it all the time because I loved the Amiga back in the day, same as I did the C64. And I think when it comes to the Amiga, I'd rather have something that looks and feels like an Amiga than just run it on a PC. Just wouldn't feel the same. if any of you guys watch the Hobby Lodge, you would have heard Martin say on numerous occasions, for him it's the tactileness, you know, it's the holding of the tapes, it's the pushing play on the tape deck, it's the menus on the screen from the system, you know, all these things he mentions. And I agree with him to a certain degree on some of that, you know, like, I don't need to have the physical disc for the Amiga, but I think it does help that I've got something that resembles an Amiga, you know, that with the Maxi it'll have proper keys, so obviously you'll have keys to push, etc. You know, it would bring back that tactileness of the original Amiga. So yeah, like I say, I'm not really falling on either side, but I think these days I'm more on the side of, do we really need these? But then I also see that there's a point to them. So anyway, I just thought I'd put it out there. I just want to get what other people's opinions are on this, because yeah, you know, I wouldn't say it's to make my mind up, because it isn't, you know. I think I'll always be either side of this. But I just want to see if anyone else has a firm decision on, no, I don't want them, or wouldn't play them, or yes, I would. You know, just wondering what other people's views are on it. So yeah, let me know. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a bit of a ramble, but it's me trying to get my thoughts out on how I feel about this, which isn't always that easy to do, is it? You know your thoughts, but it's trying to put it into words. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and until next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.